This is my garbage cans. Yes, I have 2 of them. In this one, I throw non-colored glass, and here's soft plastic, and this one metal, and this one I have hard plastic and colored glass, and here I throw something that we call the green bag. So the green bag, we put all our leftovers, and then the green bag is transported into the city where environmental friendly diesel is produced that runs our local buses. We take recycling seriously in Sweden. I believe all human beings need to contribute to preserve Mother Earth. You know, what impresses me, not only the beautiful car I have behind me, but Sweden and the climate that I'm living in. I remember when I did my ever first review, it was a 911 Carrera 4S, and I rushed out from my home in the end of January trying to get the few hours of daylight to review the car. Now it's the opposite. I just told my wife that I would like to show everybody the lights that we are having in the evening. It's 8 o'clock in the evening. My family is more or less in the living room watching some TV, and soon my son is going to sleep, and it's still daylight, and it will be daylight more or less until midnight. So I thought, let's go out to the evening and show you guys this beautiful car. I have thought a lot about the lines between the Sport Turismo and the standard Panamera, and I am getting more and more towards these lines, because I think the purists like myself need to rethink the positioning of the sports car, and having these lines needs to be there to remind the purists on the development and the differences we are having for the change. And I'm not sure where to start with this car, but I think it is on the left side, because here we have the opening for the charger and the charging station of this car, because here is where it's all happening. Yes, obviously, if we have the Carrera T, the screaming natural aspirated V10 engine, I get the goosebump. Obviously, yes, I will get it. But if we look at the natural aspirated engine and where the energy comes from, it is from the responsiveness that you get from it, right? And with this charger point, we get a response time and the torque from an engine that are way, way, way better than the natural aspirated engine. And that is so, it's a collision in the purist's head and the petrol head, saying that electricity is better than gasoline. But luckily, on the right side of the vehicle, we have a proper opening to fill gasoline. And in the marketing department, they call this a hybrid, meaning that they have an electric engine combined with a combustion engine. But I call it a rehab center for Stone Age people like myself that are having these collision in my head trying to preserve the natural aspirated engine. Because this is a perfect opportunity to buy a hybrid, go through rehabilitation, and make sure you get the proper sport car when the Mission E is launched. When you have done the rehab properly and own a hybrid for a while and you have get rid of the abstinence of gasoline, I think the electric engine is what you need as a driver's man, driver's woman. The torque it gives you and the instant torque could not be measured toward a natural aspirated engine. And yes, the noise level that the natural aspirated engine or the sound it creates could not be replaced by an electric engine. But if you focused on the driver's perspective, I think the electric engine is something that needs to be addressed and introduced to the market. I have driven several electric vehicles, but no one that has the package complete. And I think that the Panamera is one step ahead towards that direction, combining the drivability of the car and the electric motor. And I also believe, and I genuinely believe, that it is a great step to just move from a combustion engine to hybrid and then to fully electric. And I cannot wait, and I really mean it, when the Mission E is introduced. I addressed the question when I tested the Panamera Turbo, and I believe, and I genuinely believe, that I think that could be one of the best Porsches ever produced when it is launched. So yes, high expectation from my side when it comes to Mission E. No, I am not going to scream about the snort green calipers, because I would like to make a clarification. Because on this car I'm extremely satisfied, because the owner or the person that option out the Panamera hybrid actually can tick the option black calipers. I am not against colored calipers, but I am against that it limits the number of colors that you can have on your car. At this point you can select the entire range of color from the Panamera, because you can get the snort green calipers in black. But with these grayscale colors, and especially when the windows or the frames around the windows are blacked out, I can actually get attracted to the snort green calipers. But I think the development, and this is very important, if you look at brake development over the years, they have come so far, so they are extremely close to being ugly. I mean, look at the caliper. It is huge. I'm just trying to understand how I could film this for you. But these wheels are pretty much 21-inch wheels, and I can hardly get my fingers between the calipers and the rim. That's how huge they are. Driving the Panamera could be ridiculously annoying. Take a look at this. I have my turn signal on. I'm just gonna entering a road, and obviously going on electric motor, no sound on the engine, nothing. And I can actually hear the Sport Chrono watch ticking, going 60 kilometers an hour. How frustrating is that? I mean, that is what I call a quiet car. And just for you South European citizens that are watching my videos, I have been down to South Italy and in Austria, etc., and your smooth asphalt that you have on the roads. The Swedish roads are being raped every year by the spikes in the tire and the winter. And the car is still so comfortable with 21-inch rim. Rolls-Royce cannot compete with this. If they can, they have to give me a car for a test drive. Comfort, a pleasant feeling of being relaxed and free from pain. The design of the Panamera is sporty but settled. No line interfering with each other, creating true pleasure for your eye. The heritage of the 911 design could not be mistaken. When driving the Panamera, I find myself relaxed. in a comfortable and informal position, giving my mind balsam. I've had 3 Panameras and I understand why I have. I've driven in my career, I've had a couple of 7 Series and an S-Class as well. I'm not sure if I would select a 7 Series or an S-Class when I have this new updated Panamera. Because one thing is for certain, the upgrade of the Panamera compared to the first generation is a huge step. Not only in the comfort level but also in the drivability, especially with the rear wheel steering. And with the hybrid, it feels much more modern than, let's say, the turbo. And I believe that this model is the sweet spot in the Swedish market, or might stretch to the Nordic markets. It shows you that you care, but still wants to be a driver's man, driver's woman. I think we should just realize that the position in the Panamera are extremely good from a driver's perspective. When you drive this car, especially like the one I'm having with the rear wheel steering, this is a sports car. And yes, if you are, if you are a stupid purist Stone Age person like me, we will, start to argue how heavy the car is and how it lacks of noise and I don't know. I'm not sure. Actually, what is driving pleasure? I mean, is it the noise that the 911 creates, or is it the drivability or the lightness or the actual lap time? Because if it is the lap time, I can guarantee you that I will take this particular car and drive it faster than the 718 GTS, and then we can discuss about what's fast. When it comes to 0 to 100, the SUV from any car manufacturer will actually outperform many sports car. But this particular car will also in some cases be faster when it comes to track days. I mean, I am in a sports car doing sports car performance, and as you can see behind me, I have room for 2 more passengers in the back. When you turn in the car, it's pretty much like the sports car, especially when you have the rear wheel steering as in this car. That is the most important option that you need to tick if you want the heritage of the Porsche sports car DNA. It really creates the possibility to turn in, and when you approach a corner, heavy braking, you turn in and you can actually feel the car gripping, and you feel the back end turns in and helps you turn in the car, and the feeling of driving the 5-meter long car disappears immediately. And as always, I need to address the design. I mean, look at this rear end. I think it is one of the most beautiful rear ends that we have in the Porsche models at this point. And I am actually stretching myself saying that the Sport Turismo, that so many people think are better looking than the standard model, or whatever I would like to call it, I think actually this is more beautiful. It combines the lines from the other model range into these sports car, and I actually love them. So for me, this is so beautiful with the sport exhaust and the black sports tails. Actually, I kind of like, and I've already said it, that I'm okay with the snort green model badge in the back, and these Panamera 4, the 4-wheel drive cars that have this beautiful. I'm not sure if you can see that line, but it's the lights that goes from the left to the right, and taking the heritage of the design from the earlier 911. Mwah! Now, I think I need to be a bit clear on this. I'm not saying that this is a sport car with the same concepts as a 911 and 719. No, this is still 2 tons that you have to turn in the corners. And the lighter cars, especially the 719, is much more agile when you turn in the car. But also, I need to take under consideration on where you are in your life. I have previously in my videos discussed about when I became a father and the limitation of time that I had. At that time, I couldn't find a better sports car than the Panameras and the Cayennes when I needed to, let's say, do the family puzzle to get everything done over a week. And in terms of usability, the Panamera outperforms the 911 GTS any day of the week. But also it contributes to a different level of where the automotive and the car has become today. We are driving along in this car yesterday, doing some dinner out at Lidingö in Sweden, and we drove almost 100 kilometers, and we only needed 5 liters for 100 kilometers. And my driving was actually a bit active. And we always have to take the environmental perspective into our passion for cars. And as I have said and still saying, I cannot wait when the Mission E is properly launched from Porsche and we for the first time in the world will have a proper electric sports car.